Welcome and thank you for tuning in to the human training your dog is begging for. We're Charles and Laura Countryman, the co-founders of Canine Culture Dog Training in Dallas, Texas. And with us today, as always, is senior trainer and head of dog evaluations, Wyatt. Julie, our lead trainer, is on vacation this week. Our point or our intent of our podcast is to give you the ability to glean information from normal conversations that dog trainers would have, and hopefully through the conversations that we have about dog training, dogs in general, help you have a better understanding of your dog, what motivates them, what fulfills them, how to better communicate with your dog. In the end, our mission is helping humans have a dog that's a joy to live with. So thanks for joining us today. And today's episode is day one with your new adult rescue dog. And it's not really day one, but what are the first things you need to do when you first bring home a rescue dog that is an adult, to set them up for success, to have a good life? And that's this time of year, a lot of people rescue dogs. A lot of people also get puppies, but hopefully you're looking at rescuing a dog. And our podcast today will kind of help flesh out some do's and don'ts right away. So what's, Laura, the number one thing someone should do when they first get their dog, or shouldn't do?
First thing you should do, just like when you get any dog, is research the breeds. So you see kind of what you want. Even rescue dogs at shelters, some of them are Hind 57, much you can't see, but a lot of dogs you can look at them and kind of figure out one or two of the breeds. Make sure it's going to fit into your lifestyle. Also, age of dog. Do you want a 1 to 2, 3-year-old dog that's still young, or do you want an older dog that's more your set of your lifestyle? So that's another thing you need to figure out, is what your lifestyle with your dog is, and then figure out where you want to go. Do you want to go to a county shelter? Do you want to go to a rescue? Do you want to go to a breed-specific rescue? And what are you looking for? Do you have a dog at the house? And are you looking for a companion for that dog?
Picking the right dog is important. Sure. Now that you got them home, Wyatt, what do you do?
Start off slow. You got to manage your expectations for this dog, because most rescues, you have no idea what their backstory is, what happened at all. So you got to be very patient with them. You've got to very much know there's a honeymoon phase where your dog is not going to act what its original, like,
Who they are.
Yeah. They're still walking on eggshells. I'd very much, personally, I'd go right to crate training. Yep. I would very much limit them. I would not, day one, let them meet all the people and all the dogs. Start off very slow and methodically. If you have other dogs, meeting in a neutral area. Really just keep an eye on them and see what's going on.
Too much freedom too fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
In all aspects, you shouldn't let them just run around the entire house yet, because you don't know if they're even potty trained, and you also don't know, are you destructive? So,
or you don't know their temperament either.
Right.
It could be a dog's gonna be different. Like Wyatt says, it's gonna be honeymoon stage. So you don't want a dog to have free range that you personally do not know.
Right. So similar to a puppy, but for an adult rescue dog, shut all the with a leash, take them throughout the house and give them a tour. Yep. Let them sniff, let them explore through their nose, their new environment. But then, shut the doors and start limiting them. I would have them drag a long leash, just cut the handle off so it could slide under objects for a little while. Might be a day, might be a week. His behavior and how he's fitting into the house will kind of determine, when you're going to take that leash off. But like you said, Wyatt, if you have another dog, don't just bring him into the house and say, hey, here's your new buddy. That's not typically, it might go well, but
it might not.
Might not.
And it could have gone well.
Yes.
If they could be best buddies if they just met right. Yeah. So if you have another dog, don't meet at the home. Bring your dog outside, go for a walk together, have one in front of the other, let them sniff each other's rear, switch us apart, let us snip each other's rears. That's a dog. That's a handshake in dog world. And then let them just walk together. And then let that be a neutral ground. Yeah. And when you get back to the house, the new dog walks in the house first.
Yeah.
your dog walks in after the new dog. So that way you minimize some of that territory guarding issues.
And then if you have in the backyard, the new dog should be on a leash. Your dog does not need to be on a leash.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have, it depends on your dog.
Yeah.
But the new one definitely has to be on a leash. You need to monitor it. And whatever you want expectation of this dog going forward, you need to be clear. Like if you don't want them on the furniture ever, do not let them on the furniture ever. If you, whatever you want that dog to do, start from day one, is have them do it or not have them do whatever it is.
Yeah, don't establish bad habits day one, and then next month after he's settled in, now we'll clean up the bad habits. Well, you've already established his operating software for your home. So couldn't you change it? Yeah, but that's
it's not fair. Yeah.
That's very confusing to him.
And potty training, start day one. Don't do the old school. If they potty in the house, make it a consequence. Just when it's outside, they go to the potty, reward it big time. Yeah. So always make it a positive outside. Inside is a no. You don't. You just ignore it.
I hope people don't still rub their dogs' noses and pee. If anyone listening to this does that, it doesn't work. Don't do that.
But always set them up. Don't be mad, because this dog could have lived on the streets its whole life. It does not understand that there's places to potty and places.
Or maybe he hasn't. Maybe you had a wonderful home until people decided, you know what, we don't want a dog anymore. You just don't know.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
I will say, what is it, 47% or is it 67%? Dogs in rescues are rescued or taken to a rescue or a shelter due to behavioral issues. So know that you have basically a 50% chance that there's a behavioral issue with your new rescue dog.
Yeah.
So what you're also looking for is, what is it? And start monitoring that, because the rescue probably doesn't know. The people most likely didn't say. That way you can decide, is that a bad issue, or is it just not a big deal to us, but it was to this previous family? And if it's a bad issue, then start working on helping the dog learn how to get past that, or get a trainer, of course. The majority of dogs we train here at Canine Culture are obviously rescues. And that's why they have leash pulling is number one. But after that, there's a behavioral issue that something needs addressed. But not too much freedom. Once you see the dog is settling into the home, now you can add another room. So, baby gates are your friend. Get a couple baby gates and kind of limit access to the home. I look at it like you earn freedom to the entire home through your good behavior and your good manners. Destructive behavior doesn't get you a lot of freedom or access to a lot of the house, because I need to monitor you to help you not make those bad choices of chewing on things.
But you also have to know dogs that are destructive have other issues. They're not doing it. Some dogs, I guess, do it because it's fun, and that's usually a puppy. Grown dogs usually don't chew things. There's something else going on that you need to figure out to help the dog work through, to be their therapist, I guess.
Destructive chewing.
Chewing, yeah. A lot of dog breeds need to chew, but the destructive breed, just eating doors, could be anxiety.
Eating couches and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's something else going on beside. That's just what manifest is doing that. So try to figure out why they're doing that.
They're frustrated, they're bored, they're anxious, they're scared.
Yeah. There's a lot of things.
It's not even necessarily what to do the first day. These are the things to do the first week. But a lot of people don't realize it takes a minimum of 30 days for a dog to acclimate to a new environment.
At least.
It can take up to 3 months.
Yeah.
So every dog's a little different. Anxious and scared dogs are going to acclimate over a longer period of time. But 30 days, they don't really feel like it's their home, like this is my people and my home, until at least 1 month has gone by. So, understand that you don't just shove your face in their face and expect them to snuggle with you that first day or two. They think they're just having a slumber party. I don't know what they're thinking, but it's not their home yet. You're not their people yet.
They don't know you. You're not part of their pack, their life.
Right.
And also, since you don't know this dog, keep children away from anything your dog might resource guard. Their food,
right?
Their toys, their crate.
You're evaluating all those temperaments for the first day, especially. But
going forward, it could be the dog could be this beautiful, like why I said honeymoon for the first 2-3 weeks, and then it's a different dog. Once it's settled in there and it knows you, it's going to be who that dog is.
So once he determines that this is his home and his environment, now you're going to see more of his real true personality come out because he's more at peace, more at ease. And then all of a sudden you find out, whoa, he's a resource guardian. He wasn't before.
But I would start from day one is hand feed your dog. Have everyone in that house hand feed the dog. And you just do it throughout the day. You could do it in the morning. You could make them, if they'll do something tricks wise or whatever, but I would hand feed the dog. It helps bond them with you. Even if you're just hand feeding, they're doing nothing.
That's how we feed the dogs in training.
Yeah,
we
just hand feed them their kibble.
We're establishing a bond. We're establishing importance with them. There's so many reasons you want to hand feed your dog. And it goes fast. A handful of food at a time. The dog eats really fast.
Yeah.
It helps with potty training too.
Yep.
Getting them on a schedule.
Yep.
Same thing with water.
Yep.
I know with my street dog, food was an issue, but water was also just as bad as he would just chug water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then pee every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
The dog's metabolism was ridiculous.
Yeah. Some dogs your dog.
And he won't stop. He will just keep chugging water and keep peeing everywhere.
So it's important to determine that with this new dog. Is he one of them? Does he eat so fast he vomits? Well, now you need a slow feeder.
Yeah. After you're done hand feeding,
Yeah, there's just a lot of things you got to determine. And
but I would
it's not even a first day thing. It's
just make sure, and then you have to dog proof your house. Make sure everything's up. Dogs are like little toddlers. They want to smell everything. So make sure the kids' toys are up because a lot of dogs don't, especially at the beginning, don't say, oh, this is a dog toy, this is a kid toy. They don't know this. If you're letting them chew this dog toy, maybe you could chew this doll.
It's on the floor.
It's on the floor. So make sure everything's
because you don't know what the rules were at his previous home.
Yeah.
And kid toys are just nice, soft plastic.
Yeah. And it's not to say you always have to do that. When our granddaughter's over, there's kid toys on the floor and our dogs don't chew it, but they learned. These are your toys.
Yeah.
And
dogs can learn
you
this,
don't chew them.
And they can learn. And most dogs, after a certain age, don't chew on things if they're now a mentally stable dog.
Right.
Yeah. They know they have their chew toys that they're allowed to chew on.
Typically, if you're going to have issues after that, it's more often than not, it's going to be underwear and shoes.
Yes, they love our smell.
They our smell. Exactly. So that's an easy one. Pick your shoes up, put your underwear in the clothes hamper.
Yeah.
Problem solved. And that is really important because some dogs swallow underwear. We had a dog about a month ago that was in training and
pooped out underwear.
I don't know what it is with Rottweilers and swallowing things.
And we said, if there's one in there, there could probably be another. So we called the owner and said, hey, a pair of underwear came out. Oh no, again? So they came and got him and there was another pair in there.
And surgery happened again.
So that's an easy one to solve. Just put your dirty clothes in a hamper. Problem solved. Because that's hard to train out because it smells so much like us. Our dogs just want to kind of nibble on it. And then unfortunately, some dogs swallow the entire underwear. That's crazy.
So set your dog up for success like garbage can. Get a lid for it. If you have a dog, like we got the fancy garbage can that you put your hand over and open, where our Malinois Lincoln learned how to put his nose over it and open it. So we had to get a different kind of garbage can. So just make
the manual kind.
So just make sure.
He loved that garbage can. I just wave my head over it and it opens and I have snacks.
Which is interesting because Lincoln does not get on he could eat anything off the counter if he wanted to, just put his head, but he does not do that. But the garbage can was too resistant.
It's almost like having warm cookies out of the oven right next to you on a plate on the couch and you're not allowed to touch them. And the hell with that, I'm going to eat them all.
Yes.
The whole plate. That's what a garbage can is to a dog. It's a little too much. There's too many good smells in there.
Yeah.
Asking them to never put their head in there, that's a big ask. Now, a garbage can in the bathroom, that's different because there should be no food in there.
But if you have females in the house, get a lid for it. You guys know what I'm talking about. Put a lid for it.
Yeah.
That's too much. If you don't want the dogs drinking out of the toilet, put the lid down. So set your dog, make it easier on you and the dog. The more positive you could be, the better. There's some things you need to punish them for, but doing stuff like that, you could fix. We're humans. It's very easy.
Well, and if you identify problems like that, it's better to try and fix them one at a time. Don't try and fix everything all at once. You will get overwhelmed and give up.
And that kind of goes back into potty training. That's why, rubbing a dog's nose and pee, for example, is so crazy because it happened before.
Yeah.
Well, now your dog's laying on the couch or wherever they're laying, relaxing a little bit, and all of a sudden someone grabs them by the scruff of the neck, drags them across the room and rubs their spacing something. He's like, God, I guess they don't want me to lay in front of the TV anymore, because that was the moment in time he's being corrected for.
Yeah.
He don't remember peeing over there a minute ago.
Nope.
It's crazy.
And also remember, if you get a dog from the shelter, they may have just got neutered that week. So they still might be marking.
Spayed, right.
So they might still be marking. So keep track of that. You can, if you catch them, you need to correct that and then take them out.
Yeah,
they need to know it's not.
Say no and take them right out.
Yeah.
And when your boy dog gets neutered, it's still going to look like he's got his man parts.
For a month
they take a minute to go away. The amount of phone calls we've had about that.
Yeah.
It's normal. We've all...
I got swelling.
I've paid for this big surgery and nothing happened. No, it just takes a minute.
Yeah, especially with males, it takes a while for that testosterone to work its way through. And like you said, Wyatt, when it comes to potty training, but food and water. Establish routines.
Yep.
Right off the bat. And obviously the routines need to match your life routines. Otherwise they're not routines. They're going to be erratic. The more established protocols and routines you have, the better. So first thing in the morning, I wake up first, take the dogs out, they go outside. Then I turn the coffee pot on and then, get a cup of coffee. Then when they come back in, it's food and water. And then with our dogs, we pretty much leave the water down all day long for them because they are extremely well potty trained. But if you don't know, don't leave water down all day long.
Yeah.
Wait to see if their bladder can handle that. Mr. Pickles, Wyatt's dog, could not.
No. They have very strict water schedule.
Yeah.
Because that dog.
It's all about knowing your dog's biological clock. But if they know that after they've drank, they're going to be going outside in a half hour, then they'll hold it. They'll learn to hold it because they know, hey, I can depend on this schedule. And then if you're going to work, if they're not in the crate, lift the water up. They don't need water while you're at work, or leave them just a little bit. Once you know they're potty trained, then you can make that judgment call. So with us, we leave water down. Wyatt can't, because they'll pee one of his dogs will pee all over the house. His bladder can't handle that.
Yeah. He just doesn't want to do that. Because Pickles is a grown dog, so he could hold his potty for.
He can.
But 8 hours.
I don't think he could.
I don't really think he can.
I think he's got a small bladder.
I think so.
I've never seen a dog pee like that.
Except for little dogs.
Yeah. Oh, good point. So take into consideration the size of your dog. A small dog has a small bladder.
Yes.
A cup of water to them is, I don't know, like a quart for a bigger dog.
Yeah.
So don't look at, oh my God, he's only drank. Well, look at his body size.
Yeah.
That we hear that a lot. My dog pees and poos, when I'm at work. Well, you fed him 5 minutes before you left. Of course he's going to pee and poo while you're at work, because he didn't get a half hour later chance to go outside and go potty.
Yeah.
And then same routine. So when we get home, like I said, our dogs already have water, but if your dog didn't, give them water right away. Then let them outside. Have them stay outside for a half hour, until they went potty. I go outside with them during the potty training phase. When I'm actually potty training a puppy or a dog, my butt is outside with that dog.
And he's on a leash.
And he's on a leash until he goes pee or poo, and then I mark it good, and then the leash comes off, and then you get to run around and explore and sniff and do crazy dog stuff.
That's a little tip we'll give you guys. When your dog urinates where you want it to, you mark it with whatever we say potty. And your dogs, after a while, will potty on command. Our dogs potty on command. Sometimes they're not actually potting, they're squatting because you said it. But
because they didn't have to go.
But it's just something you're not teaching formally, but you're doing it as they're doing it, and they learn it really fast.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to have your dog urinate.
Because if you want to take your dog into a store, you clearly don't want your dog to pee in the store. So you walk up to a curb and tell them potty. And they'll go pee, and then you go in the store.
Pooping, you can't do that so much.
Yeah, you only have to go on a little less. But pee, there's typically always have a dog that has to pee. I don't let them off the leash until I've seen that they've gone.
Yeah.
And then I say, good, mark it. And with a new dog, rescue dog or a puppy, this is the time, if you have a backyard that's maybe small or big, it really doesn't matter. If there's just an area that you want your dog to go poo in, walk them over to that area, stand in that area until they go poo and say good, and then let them off. keep repeating that, pretty soon they'll know that area of the yard is the area to go poo.
That's
Now,
the toilet.
when it goes time to clean up dog poop,
It's easy.
it's super easy. You just walk over to that corner of the yard, pick it all up, you're done, bam, out of there.
Yeah.
And there's no landmines in other parts of the yard.
Yes. Another thing is don't trust this dog. I don't care how cute or cuddly it is with your children alone for a long time. I'm saying
Yeah.
months. You can't. Maybe teenagers would be fine, but any under that, you don't. First of all, you don't know who your kid's going to be, and you don't know this dog.
Yeah.
I would never let them outside playing together without supervision. And I would do a drag leash too, because there's
You
horror
just
stories
never
out there
know.
you don't know.
And little kids grab dogs by the face and shove their face in
Tail,
the
they do
dog because
stuff.
they just want to snuggle the dog so much, and the dog's like, this is freaking me out, and then they snap and bite him in the face.
And it could have been fine for 9 times. That 10th time, it was not fine. So I would monitor it.
Don't let your dogs ride your dog, jump on your
kid
dog,
you, yeah.
pester your dog. That's not fair to the dog.
The dog's in this crate. That's its little cave, and no one should be bothering
Yeah,
that
that's
dog.
his
in the
private
cave.
den that
Yes.
you should feel unmolested and safe in.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind, because there's a lot of people that see these cute videos of kids riding dogs. It's like you read the body language. If you don't know dog body language, you could Google it, and there's a whole bunch of stuff out there.
Yeah.
Dogs tell you. Most dogs will tell you. There's some dogs out there that the previous owner might have somehow got so they don't growl and they don't bark. They just bite because the owners do not like the growling and barking for some dumb reason. And they have trained it, beat it, somehow got it out of the dog. So it will just bite, and you don't really see
So
the
you never got a
signs.
warning with
You
a
don't have
growl
the
or a
sign.
bark.
It might have, and some of them have. We have one here, has very small body language. It's hard to detect. And it will you'll be fine. All of a sudden, it will lunge at you and try to bite you. And it's
So
because
there's
someone,
no predetermined or no advance warning because its previous owner
Yeah.
had somehow either trained or abused that out of that behavior out of
because
the
that's
dog.
not normal.
Or it's like some weird PTSD thing that your kid
Yeah.
just happened to trigger.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somehow. That's like when Diesel got me, I just touched the back of his neck. I was
Yeah.
doing nothing. I would
Yeah.
just put him in his crate,
Yeah.
and I watched his whole body change.
Yeah.
And he chomped me a couple times.
Yeah.
But your kids could accidentally do that.
Yep.
There could be a spot like
It could be
Diesel,
yeah.
on the dog that all of a sudden a vet, he just associates that with pain.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because dogs live in pictures, and if it happened, that's what they think is always going to happen until you kind of change that picture. And then some of these dogs, you don't know what happened. They could have a body injury you'll never know, and it's sore, just like us.
Yeah.
When we get a car accident, say, and you have a sore hip. You wouldn't know that. But if you touch it wrong, at the wrong day, at the wrong time, the dog's going to
Very
tell
good
you
point.
no, and sometimes they tell you no with their teeth, and it's not fun.
Because
They're
you,
in pain.
They're in
you
pain.
have no idea how much pain they're in.
You
You
don't
could
know.
have just.
Because most dogs can handle so much pain. We had a French, English bulldog, our personal dog. It was actually dying of cancer. We did not know this, took it to the vet. And this dog was a normal dog until the day we took her to the vet because she was kind of sluggish, wasn't doing everything normal. And we thought, who knows what we thought. Well,
We just thought she was
just sick or
just
something. I don't
under
know.
the weather.
Yeah, but no. And she had to have been in pain.
Had to be.
Had to be. She had cancer through her whole
And
body.
they put her down that day. It was
Yeah.
that advanced.
Yeah. So dogs can handle a lot of pain. So just remember that. A lot of dogs do not want to bite us. Most dogs. They don't want to do a lot of things that they have to do. What else, Wyatt? Would you do with a doggy?
I would definitely take it real easy if you do find a problem, like Pickles. Resource guard his food real bad when I first got him.
And Wyatt has
he was
little
a
guys.
rescue.
And he was a rescue, and I had small children, and they are still, like, my dogs are fed separately. Even if Pickles didn't guard food, they would still be fed separately.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a good point. You have another dog in the
Yep,
home.
Yeah.
and I would change the location of your food bowls every time they feed them, so they don't start guarding
That area.
one specific area.
Feed them in different rooms.
yeah.
Yep.
And how I really got him over, because now, like, the kids can take his food and touch him while I don't like
You
letting
wouldn't
them,
let them, but yeah.
but it's
right.
happened. It's children.
he
It's
has
gonna
1-year-old.
happen.
They're little guys.
I started off I saved him. He loves me the most. I'm his dog. I'm his human.
Yeah.
And he will growl, and I'd start off touching his butt, tell him he's really good. Because there's two ways about it. You can either just grab the bowl, take it away, give it back, and get him over it. That dog would have bit the crap out of me.
Yes.
At that point,
I had to start off touching his butt, tell him, because he would just lock up and growl because he's waiting to fight me over his food because he's a street dog. And he's, oh, you're a good boy. I'm gonna pet you. You're a good boy. And I'm touching his butt.
But like, I never took his food though.
Safe. Yeah. Never took his food. Yeah. And then weeks, I slowly worked down his body till touching his head. Then once I was very confident about it, then I took his food.
Right.
And
that's a good point.
Full
of
process.
Hand feeding also helps with that process.
Yes,
because you're establishing that you are the source of food.
Yeah.
You're not the taker of food. You're the giver of food.
Yeah.
And that's a big frustration for all dogs. I think it's for all wild animals is that they don't want you to take their food. That's their food. They're going to die if they don't have the food. There are animals. They don't know. You're going to give it back to them.
DNA driven.
So how Wyatt did it is a more and fairer way, a nicer way than take it away and then give it back. Because like it's frustration that could turn into rage really fast.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you had like a 8-week-old puppy, that's super. What's it going to do to you? Pickles was a 50-pound dog when I got him. He was not going to play around with that food. There's just different approaches. Like if Pickles was a Chihuahua, it would have been a lot faster just to take his food away. It wouldn't have taken months. But who knows if that would have actually fixed it or would have triggered, even though he was a little 10-pound Chihuahua, to try and attack you.
Yeah, we've had those all the time.
I'm more afraid of Chihuahuas than like Akitas or anything like that.
Yeah.
Spicy things.
Well, hopefully what we went over today helps. Just remember, kind of a wrap up. 30 to 90 days. That's how long it's going to take your new rescue dog, whether it's a puppy or an adult, to feel like this is their home. This literally is their home and you are their people. And just take it easy. Go slow. Don't, like Wyatt said, don't address everything in one challenge. But Laura mentioned evaluate. You're evaluating a lot for the first few weeks, but then you're going to reevaluate after a month or two when you really feel like they've acclimated, because now you're going to see their truer personality. So then you'll know, all right, what issues do we have? What do we have to help the dog with? And be fair, don't change the rules all the time. We're always saying that. Next week, we'll be talking about our core values of dog training here at Canine Culture and how you can use those and implement them with your dog in having a dog that's a joy to live with, as well as helping you, if there's something you're trying to teach your dog. And if something that, we discussed today connected with you, I want to invite you to reach out to us, give us a call, shoot us an email, click on the contact form on our website, k-9culture.com. We'd love to hear from you. Perhaps maybe you just have a training question. Go ahead and shoot that over and we'll do our best to answer it on an upcoming podcast. And be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, all the social media platforms. And if you are needing help with your dog, if there's a behavioral issue, we'd love to help you and your dog have a great life together. You can contact us through our website or give us a call. We'll discuss what issues you're having, what your goals are, what your lifestyle is that you'd like to live with your dog, and then put together a training program that best fits your needs, your goals, and the life that you would like to have with your dog. And until next week, go have fun with your dog.